Good morning, everybody. What day is it? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Back in the office for the first time in over a month, back at the station. Feels good to be here. Pretty crazy though. But that's kind of leading into what we're talking about today. So I don't know if you were able to catch last week. We focused on kids and just kind of the stress that they're under prioritizing their mental health. And this week we want to focus on parents because let's be honest, this past year and a half has not been easy for anybody, but parents have had a lot of added stress with a lot of different things that they've had to weigh and navigate through all of this. So we have Dr. Nicole Berkins with us, a holistic child psychologist, and then also Rob Howard, an employment lawyer, to kind of talk about those different aspects at home and in the workplace. So if you're just joining us, feel free to hop on, ask questions. We can directly ask both of them. And we're going to get started. So again, if you're just joining us, today's topic is just about the pressure and the stresses that parents have been under throughout this pandemic. And research has shown that a lot of families have had to make some decisions on, how they're going to continue to navigate this. And it's kind of put a spotlight on, that work-life balance. It's taken people out of their routines and forced them to see things differently. When it comes to daycare and just all of those things parents have had to weigh. I had to make the decision to go from full-time to part-time because at the end of the day, that was what was best for my family. And this pandemic kind of made me realize that. So, Dr. Nicole, I want to start with you just in regards to that stress that parents are under and kind of what you're seeing, hearing, and how to balance that at home so that doesn't impact our kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many pieces of that. And for sure, this has been an incredibly stressful period of time for parents who already are under a lot of stress, especially trying to balance, as you said, work and home and kids and all of that. And the pandemic has just amplified that for sure. And what we've been hearing here at the clinic for the last 18, 19 months is certainly that parents are feeling the burden of that. And I think any of us who were under any kind of illusion before that we could do it all, the pandemic has shown us that in fact we cannot do it all. And I think, as you said, like it's spotlighted that. It's made everybody more aware of what are the real priorities here. How do we manage all of this when it becomes clear that in fact we can't do everything maybe as awesome as we want to be able to do it, or just simply don't have enough hours in the day or whatever. So I think there's some good to that. Like you've talked about your own situation, clarifying some things and making decisions about that. But certainly there are stressors that come along with that too, especially when you have to make decisions about things like work and income and maybe schooling or things for the kids. It's tough.
Yeah. And I want to ask you too, Rob, being in that other spectrum of all of this, what have you guys heard throughout all of this? And, parents have really had to make some tough decisions. Like you said, a big part of it is that work-life balance, but that financial aspect. So they can't lose their job, but they may have to do things differently than they were once doing. So kind of give me your perspective on that.
Right. So we've been hearing from people since we first went quarantine in March of different issues related to their workplace, whether it's they're uncomfortable with returning to in-person work, even if safeguards are in place, or they're used to working from home and they've adjusted their life and now they don't have that babysitter anymore that they used to. And how do they go about returning to that? And unfortunately, just on these logistic issues, parents and families, they don't have a lot of rights in the workplace. Now, if your child has a serious health condition that you need to care for, then the Family Medical Leave Act is an option that you can use. If you've got your own serious health condition, say you've got anxiety or depression from the events of the past almost 2 years now, then maybe you should avail yourself of the Family Medical Leave Act yourself and protect that time when you have that intermittent absence of, your anxiety is too high today and you shouldn't go to work, or you need to go to a doctor's appointment, or your child who has a health condition needs to go to a doctor's appointment. And the most important thing here is really going to be having a good relationship with your employer. That's the first thing, because you're an at-will employee generally, and they can terminate you at any time for any or no reason. So if they need you to be there on Saturday and you can't because of some event, they can find somebody who will.
Yeah. And I think that's, again, one of the important things that came out of this is realizing, prioritizing, and taking a close look at maybe what you once thought you had in order, and realizing, you know what, maybe this isn't the way that we can do life anymore. And I love how you said, Dr. Nicole, that I think for a lot of people, they realized you can't do it all. And I think as parents, oftentimes, especially I think moms even more so, have this weight that they're supposed to be able to do it all. And that's just not the reality. And I know me and you have talked before, and I think that there were a lot of signs for me personally, especially getting up at 3 a.m. and kind of juggling it all, that my body and mind were telling me that, but I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of explain that to people of, maybe when to take a step back and kind of re-examine, and that they're not crazy to think that,
No, I mean, our body and our brain send us all kinds of messages, start waving the red flags that, hey, something needs to change here, right? And as you said, often we're sort of aware that those things are going on, but we ignore them until they become so prominent that we can't ignore them anymore. And so some of those early signs that, wow, we're really stretched thin here, we're wearing ourselves out, we're not functioning at our best, are on the physical end, things like sleeping more poorly or less than we used to, maybe having some things like more chronic headaches, or your stomach or GI system just isn't, working as well as it typically does. You're having more of those kinds of issues. Even just general aches and pains that you're like, wow, my body just doesn't, feel that good. Tiredness, even if you are getting enough sleep. So those are some of the initial signs that our body sends us that says, hey, we need to take a look at what's going on here. We probably shouldn't keep going like this. And then on the mental health, the brain side of things, noticing, you mentioned anxiety and depression, noticing that some of those symptoms are more problematic, and noticing that, wow, my mood is just not as stable, or my mood is really consistently lower, or I'm having a lot more feelings of anxiety or just distress about things, or my fuse is just really short, right? I mean, that happens to all of us. But if you notice, especially as a parent, like, wow, I am consistently just kind of losing it on my kids, or I have no patience for anything, those are some of the signs that we need to step back and say, what can we change here to help stabilize our brain and body, to help put us back in a healthier place so that we can function better?
Yeah. And, I see one of these comments on here, and I just have to call it out, because this is about having honest conversations of someone saying being tired didn't matter before and no one cares now. But I think, the reality is this pandemic has brought up a lot of different things in a lot of different ways.
That's right.
And I think a lot of us were reaching a point of burnout. And that's not saying you're giving up.
Right.
That's saying, how can I better serve myself and my family to become the best version I can to provide for my family or be there for them? I think there's a big difference in that.
Well, and constant fatigue isn't normal. And I think where comments like that come from, I can have empathy for people who say those things, because it's sort of this defensiveness around what really people are saying with that. Like, oh, we were all tired before and it didn't matter and it doesn't matter now, is sort of around really feeling like I don't have control, or there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay.
And so I might as well just accept that this is how it is. Everybody's tired. It doesn't matter.
Point.
But actually, being tired all the time isn't normal. It isn't healthy. It's not what we should have been doing before. And it certainly is something to reevaluate now. If you're chronically tired, chronically have no energy, that's a call to look at, what do I have control over that I can change? And, to Rob's point about working with your, employer, there, you may feel like there's a lot of things you don't have control over, but it's interesting, when you open up those conversations to just see what might be possible. I think we tend to assume that there's no options, there's nothing that we can do to make our situation better. And in fact, often there are even small things on a daily basis for ourselves that we can take control of that can help us. And I think it's important to do that.
And go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, one thing that's important with the employer, like I said, the relationship is also if you can have some sort of predictability, some plan that things have changed now, and maybe you have to get the kids from school every day.
Right.
Put it on your calendar. That way somebody's not scheduling you a meeting at that time, and it's not like, where's Rob again? He's never in his office. Well, no, it says here he's gone from that time. But when you flex your hours like that, of course, get permission from your employer and understand it's a flex. It's not a reduction in hours. You're going to need to make up that time and that work somewhere. Employers have a right to expect you to, work to your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think both of those points go at the fact of where you feel like you don't have control. And maybe before you would have thought that wasn't even a conversation to bring up to your employer. And, Rob, you're saying that that's one of the most important things that you can do, because you don't, you can't just make an excuse and say, well, I'm a parent, so I can't come into work today. Right. So it's starting that dialogue and just being open and honest.
Right. And the other thing is, when you set the expectations, how many of us are just on our phone all the time, and your employer knows you're on your phone all the time. And so, well, didn't you get that email? Well, no, I didn't see it. Well, now they're probably not going to, think you're sincere. Whereas if you maybe schedule some time away from that to spend more time with your family, and they know, it's after 7:00, Nicole's probably not checking her phone right now for this email. And if it's something important, I can get a hold of her in other ways. But set that expectation early of, that you do have other things going on, and you're not just at their beck and call.
Yeah. Right. And I think that, again, this has forced people out of their routines. For a lot of people, it's just made them see how they were living maybe wasn't working. And I think that's the big thing of what we're trying to talk about, is that it's okay that if you are in that position and you're kind of in that limbo of trying to figure out what's next, that there are ways to approach this, and that it's okay to feel a little burnout after everything we've been through, and being a parent, because I want to talk to you too, Dr. Nicole, about, some advice that, for parents of how to handle that, and how to especially, it's obviously important to be honest with your kids if you're kind of going through something, but also not putting that on them, because that's not their responsibility.
No, I mean, yeah, that can be a difficult balance, especially depending on the age of the kids, of, being honest about challenges that we're having, but doing it in a way that doesn't make it a burden for them, right? Because really these things are adult issues that we need to handle. And the model that we provide our kids for how to manage getting through stressful situations, for how we can support ourselves and each other when we're in a period of more stress, anxiety, those kinds of things. That's our modeling with that.
What was that last part you said? Sorry, I think you cut out there for a second.
It's powerful for them to see our modeling, to see how, okay, things are tough. That's going to happen in life, right? Anxieties come up, stressful situations come up. I mean, we all hope we don't have to live through another pandemic, but there's going to be other stressors and challenges in life. And for us to be a model for, here's things that we can do to support ourselves. Here's how we can build resilience. Here's how we can get through these difficult times. That's really important.
Right. Admitting that, maybe this is a phase where you're struggling a little bit, but look at how we're overcoming this. Look at how I'm handling this.
Yeah. And normalizing the struggle, as you said, to realize that of course everybody's struggling. Like, it would be really strange to go through a situation like this and not have any amount of increased stress or, even mood changes or whatever. So I think to normalize that and say, to kids like, yeah, we're all having a normal response to a really abnormal situation. These things come up, and to not have it be like, this is really unusual, or there's something wrong with me, or there's something wrong with you. It's like, no, this is a normal response to this kind of really big chronic stressor.
Right. Rob, is there anything else that you just want parents to know? I see some people on here talking about, they're in places where they're short staffed. So, they can't step back, or they can't maybe go and have that conversation because it won't happen, I guess just any advice that you can offer them in terms of, what, I know they don't really have any rights, but how to go about that kind of stuff,
Right. And, there's a lot of times that people call me and they're in a horrible work situation,
Okay.
and it is causing a physical reaction from the stress of the job. And I tell them, I guess maybe it's time to start looking for another
Yeah.
job. And
Yeah.
it's easier to find a job when you have a job than to quit, in a huff or to get terminated. And you're going to be much more productive. And at the end of the day, your health is more important. You should be able to find another job, especially right now. There are so many employers hiring with everybody being short staffed. So if you're working someplace that they're not, receptive to your needs, maybe it's time to look somewhere else. And change can be good.
Yeah, right. Change is scary. I've been through it, this wasn't an easy decision personally, financially, all of those things. But I think you just hit the nail on the head. I knew that I was reaching a point of burnout, and that wasn't good for my employer or for my family. And I think that's another part of it too, is admitting that sometimes can be the scariest part in all of that. So, is there anything else, Dr. Nicole, that you just want parents to know as they, navigate through all of this and have to continue to bear the weight of the world lately?
I think to remember that you can't be everything all the time to everybody, and to give yourself grace for that. One of the things we've had to do, and I think need to continue to do, is focus on what's good enough. What's good enough for today with managing homework with the kids, or, spending some quality time with them, or dealing with stuff with my employer. Like, what is good enough so that we don't completely burn ourselves out and don't create more distress, more angst in the home, and to control the things that we can control, to make sure that we're taking breaks as we can, to access our support systems, to be conscientious about not overcommitting or overscheduling our kids or ourselves. To remind ourselves that, we're doing the best we can. We are good parents doing the best we can. Our kids are good kids who sometimes struggle with things, and to come back to that and sort of anchor ourselves in that, I think, is important.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Rob?
Just that if you're looking at, reducing your hours, let's say you're a salaried employee working 50 hours a week and you want to reduce to 30, expect that your employer is going to reduce your pay as well. You don't have a contract likely, and they've got to find somebody else to do that work that you're not doing now. So they're going to have to compensate somebody else for that. And be aware that if you drop below 30 hours, they're probably not going to be required to offer you insurance through your workplace. And that's going to be a big concern for families. Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot to weigh. And I think the biggest thing too is that every family has to navigate this of what's best for them. Right? No one knows what goes on behind closed doors, and no one can judge what, one family does compared to another. So I think that we just, we have to do what's best for ourselves, and sometimes tune out people's opinions and all of that, and just make the best decision that we can for ourselves on all of those levels. And I think that's what it comes down to. So I appreciate both of you for talking and giving us some advice on all of this. And I just hope that if you happen to come across this, just know that You're not alone in feeling that way. Sometimes I think it's hard. I mean, even seeing some of these comments, it's like, oh, you admit you're tired and now it's all of a sudden you're just giving up. And it's like, that's not the reality. So if you are watching this and you do feel that way, you're not alone in that. And that's okay that if you're taking time to re-examine what's best for you and your family. So thank you guys so much. We're going to continue to do these little chats every Tuesday. So if you have any ideas, feel free to send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or email our newsroom. We'd love to continue to connect with all of you. So thank you again and have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.